question to Neeru Bhaskar joining us. She's the principal for DPS JANKIPURAM in Lucknow. Thank you so much for speaking with NDTV, ma'am. Could you shed some light on what the gentleman has just asked? He wants to basically know if there will be a change in kind of the questions which appear, any change in the structure at this point that you have information about.
Thank you so much for having me also, but at the same time, I would like to say, yes, there have been a structure in the syllabi only. It was like the reduction itself proved that there were certain changes happening, both in the formation of the question papers and the types of questions being asked and the syllabi coverage. So I think we will await the procedures from the CBSE board to unfold, and I think then we'll be able to take a better call on that. But at the same time, I would like to say that the decision, we have to remember one thing, that the decision that has been arrived at is taking too many hotspots also in consideration. Like for my school, if I have to speak, we were all prepared for March, but then we have to take into consideration those children also who were living in rural areas and maybe were not having that kind of facility available. So in that case, I think the exams being postponed was the only sound decision that could have been taken. And for the other things related to exam pattern and everything, I think more pronounced procedures will be unfolded by the board itself.
Right. Let me also bring in Miss Chetan Bansal. She's the principal for Shamrock World School in Zirakpur. Thank you so much for coming on NDTV, ma'am. Could you enlighten us a little bit about how the course structure perhaps has changed this year around in the board examinations, and if there is going to be any change in the kind of questionnaire that will be put out?
Yes, definitely, ma'am. The syllabus has been reduced by CBSE, and maybe we'll receive a change in the examination structure also in a meanwhile. But right now, we haven't received any instruction for the draft of the question papers.
All right. So I believe there's some ambiguity still over there, and we're waiting for details to come from the CBSE on that front when it comes to the kind of questions that are going to be there. I have another caller. Please go ahead with your questions, sir. Do tell us your name as well.
Yeah, I'm Dr. A. Sandal from Rajasthan. I have one question, that will the centers will be flexible, like the candidate can appear in other state also, so that it will be convenient for my daughter or any other student?
Well, that's a great question. I hope that the central government is listening into this. Let me see if Vrinda Sarup can answer that, just going by her experience. I know I'm putting you in the spot over there, but what do you think should be something that the government is looking at this point?
I think CBSE will be flexible. I think governments will be flexible because these are very, very strange and unprecedented times. So I think parents' anxieties on centers and the number of centers, the flexibility of having centers, I think these things will be borne in mind from what my experience is, and there will be more sensitivity this time. There certainly should be, but I think there will be, because the very fact that CBSE has taken all these things into consideration in announcing the dates, postponing them slightly so that people could get themselves ready for it, and also the syllabus was reduced and announced quite some time back.
Right.
So I think we have a trend which will show that the flexibility and accommodation sensitivity will be there.
Ma'am, is there a portal where students and teachers and parents perhaps can write to CBSE about this?
I think the schools normally take this up. Parents and students do log in their anxieties or their concerns to the schools. And the schools are in dialogue with CBSE to be able to resolve lots of these issues.
All right, so that's a good piece of advice. So you can actually take all your questions to your school administration, and they can then take it up with the CBSE thereon. So if there are any further questions that you have in mind, or any queries, or even some suggestions, that's also one route one can take. I also have Sanya Bamla with me. She's a 10th grade student from D.Y. Patil International School, Worli. Sanya, welcome to NDTV. Go ahead, tell me how you're feeling about your board examinations. It's quite sort of strange that the only time you will go to school in your entire academic year is going to be finally for your board exams.
During correct. But overall, my of this are not really good, as like I'm facing too many problems like lack of concentration, and like many students are going through it as well, like being in front of the screen for like 4 hours each day. It's like creating many headaches and eyes. My eyes also pain a lot when I'm on the screen like for